20 tons of electronics are thrown away. At Dystopian Electronics Workshop, we harvest this waste stream to build cool experiments and upgrade our workshop. Hello and welcome to Dystopian Electronics Workshop, live from Phoenix, Arizona. Today, I got a couple of fun items for you. I got some items I picked up off the side of the road. We'll take a look at those, and then we've got some audiovisual electronics that we're going to repair. So, to start off with, I'm going to go ahead and play you the first scavenging video. Walking down the road here in Century City, and something shiny caught my eye. There you go, there's a little 90-degree angle ratchet. Okay, so this here is a ratchet. It is a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch drive, 3/8 inch drive, whatever it is, that all of our other ratchets are. So that's actually going to work very well for us. It's got a cool feature. It'll actually bend at an angle so you can get into tight spaces. To give you guys a closer up look at it, let's take a look at it over here on the telephone. So there you go. So here, that angles, it ratchets. There's a Craftsman. And if we look at the other side, there you go. We got a model number. It is a 44834 L-AH. So we'll look at that up later and get that added to the inventory. And finally, I have one more scavenging video that I'm going to show you real quick. All right, back at my favorite dumpster here. And this has a solar panel on it. Looks like maybe it's a little USB battery backup. So we'll check it out, see if we can get it working. That's right, this is a solar-powered battery bank. Now, has one other cool little feature on it. It actually has a built-in LED light. And that does work. USB port looks fine. Charging port looks fine. And I actually took this out, so it's got 2 USBs. The charging port on this side is a little chewed up. But yeah, let me take this over here and let you see it up close. You see what I'm talking about. There's that charging port. And it was a little chewed up, but I actually, as I was scavenging, I found this orange cable. And you can see this orange cable here goes into the charger port. No problem. If I plug this into the computer, we'll see if it charges. And yes, indeed, it does actually charge. Works great. Little LED light on it works great. So I guess the only thing we have left to do with this, let's unplug it. Let's tear it apart really quickly and see what's on the inside. Before we do that, I have to show you what we're using. This is my new 24-piece magnetic screwdriver set that my wife and daughter got me for Christmas. And it's got a whole bunch of different screwdrivers, flathead, Phillips, and hex keys, as well as some tweezers. Let's see. What we are going to need today is going to be a Phillips. So we'll grab one right here. That's our orange screwdrivers. And we'll go back and pop this open really quickly. So all along the edge, it looks like there are probably 8 Phillips bits here. Phillips screws. And as I'm taking this apart, I see that Mimikins checked in and said hi from Big Bear. Hello, Mimi. Welcome to the live stream. I'm glad you were able to join us. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. 2 more screws. Okay, and with all those screws out, this should just pop open. Let's see, I may have to actually knock all these screws out. This is a magnetic screwdriver. So once I have the screws out, I'll actually stick to the tip there. And the set did come with a magnetizer / demagnetizer. So if I don't want something to stick to it for some reason, I can always demagnetize it. Haven't had any reason to do that yet. Okay, is that all 8 screws? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, there's one more. There you go. Let's see if it pops open easier now. There you go. And flip it over. That rubber is kind of sticking there. We are on the inside. Flip it over so the text looks right to you. And we have a very big battery cell here, 14.8 watt hour, 4,000 milliamp hour, 3.7 volt battery. Looks good, it's not swollen or anything. And up front we have our charging circuit. Got 2 USB ports. And looks pretty good. Like I said, it does charge things. In fact, well, we got it popped open so you can see what I'm plugging into. Plug a USB in. Keep that in the shot. I'll flip it over so you can see the lights. And here's our little multifunction tester. Happens to use the same kind of cable. And you can see, there you go, it's charging quite well. It's a little low on battery, probably needs to get charged up. I see a lot of these chargers. One question that I get from people sometimes is, are these chargers worth buying with the solar panel on them? This does have a solar panel. I went and looked up the specs, and I think, off the top of my head, I think it takes about 18 hours of sunlight to charge this all the way up to full. And that's 18 hours of direct sunlight, ideal conditions. So that means you're probably looking at 6 hours a day. So I don't think that it's really necessary or that helpful to have the solar. But I suppose if it was the end of the world and there's the only way you were getting power, some solar power charging up your battery bank is better than none. For the extra amount of money, I'd rather just go buy a larger battery bank, personally. So I'm going to set this aside, and I will put it back together later. We got all the little bits and pieces. And finally, 2 items that I do not have a video for, but I figured I'd throw in here so we could get them on the inventory. I got one little wire nut that I picked up off the side of the road. There may be a video for this, but it's been bouncing around in my bag for a while. So I'm going to add that in. And then there's just, that is 1.5 inch drywall screw that I picked up off the side of the road while I was walking through a parking lot. I figured I'd get it out of the road and keep somebody from having a bad day. So finally, let's take a look here. See, oh, what am I taking apart? Okay, yeah, that was a battery bank. So next, we're going to take a look at, this is a video converter. I use these at work. It's a Decimator MDLX. We'll get that under the camera here so everybody can see it. There you go, Decimator MDLX. And it has one little problem. That is, it also uses a micro USB connector. So I'm going to pop this open and pull out the circuit board. And it should become obvious really quickly what the problem is. All right, so moving that case out of the way. And here is the circuit board. And right over here on the side, I'm going to make sure we're in focus and zoom in on it. Let's see, we're in focus. Oop, that was way too much zoom. Sorry, it's a live video, folks. There you go. Right here, there should be a USB plug. And there is not. Fortunately, I have that sitting right here. And so let me zoom back out. We are going to try to solder this back on. I'll zoom it out for a second. So what we're going to use for this, let me set this down, is I have my little travel soldering iron. This is a 3D printed case that I made for it. And oh, I got a couple more comments in the comments. How's it going, Tony? And how's it going, Scott? I'm doing well out here in Phoenix, Arizona. This is my little TS100 soldering iron. I carry it with me when I travel. And I got this little 3D printed case that carries all the bits. So I'll show you through what I have. The soldering iron actually sockets into the front here. You know what, I'm going to do this under the close-up camera so you can see what's going on. Alright, so the tip sockets into the front of the soldering iron. Then you have your Allen key, and you just tighten it into place. And this will power off of any barrel jack connector. Originally designed for the power that will go with a laptop. Unfortunately, my laptop uses a lot bigger connector. But I have one sitting right here. Where did it go? I pulled it around to the left side. So it's hard, you got to preset all this before you start. So here's our barrel jack connector. And this just goes right into the back of the soldering iron. And don't know if you can see that, but it powers up. And this will work well for our soldering. I don't want to melt my cool Dystopian Electronics mat. So I have this silicone soldering mat I'm going to stick right underneath. Get our mess out of the way. We got that. And we have our little hank of solder. Keep that in the video. And we really probably don't need much of that at all for this tiny soldering job. And then finally, I need the connector, and it got moved over here. While I'm looking for that, see if we have any more comments. Looks like we're doing well right now. So I'm going to start the soldering iron powering up. All you have to do for that is you just hit the power button. And let's see if you can see. There you go. So our tip is at 78 degrees. DC got all of our settings. So now we're powering up. We're at 100%. Tip temperature's going up fast. Let's see, I'm gonna set that down. There you go. There is our little tiny USB connector we're going to solder back on. Let's see, I'm going to do this crazy zoom again. There you go. that a shot. We're going to try to get this soldered back on in one go. This may not work. I might have to go back and actually put in just hardwire the power connector. It's very fiddly, as you can see. Teeny tiny connector. I need a little more light. Got our T-Mobile Tuesday click-on lamp. Maybe. T-Mobile Tuesday lamp doesn't have any power, but we have a power bank and it uses the same connector. There you go. That'll get us a little extra light. Live video production here, folks. All right, let's zoom in close and see what we can do. First up, I'm just going to heat these solder pads. And you can see how tiny they are now that we're actually up close. Scott is talking in the comments there about his USB-C version of the soldering iron. I'm a big fan of that one as well. It wasn't out when I got my soldering iron, but the big difference with that one is it actually needs a USB-C power delivery cable. So if you travel with a Mac Mini, that's great. I unfortunately do not travel with a Mac laptop. It doesn't work so well for me. Getting this lined up can be difficult. These two little legs on the side are supposed to hit the two pockets. I think we're in the right spot there. I'm gonna try to stay out of your way. Just heat that up so it stays. I had not looked at how fiddly this was before we started. It may be, depending on how this goes. Well, let's see before I say we can't do it. Get the soldering iron in there at least. Let's see. Get a little solder on the tip here. Solder down this right pad. I'm trying to... my nail... Popbox Music wants to know about my nail care routine there. Unfortunately, I don't have a good nail care routine. I just have good genetics. Fortunately, something Popbox Music might be able to take advantage of. Yeah, there's a little something on those pads. So we might be able to get this to settle in here. If we don't get it fairly quick, I might set this aside for doing under the microscope later. We'll move on to the other repair. This will at least tack it down into place. Okay, that is tacked down into place. Now what I'm going to do is just drag my soldering iron along the pins at the back. Something this fine out in the field, I'm not going to be able to really do a detailed job of fixing it. But if we're in the right place, there's at least a chance that will be enough to get this back up and working. So let's look at this under. I got the microscope over here too, so let's switch over to the microscope just for fun. See if we can see any better. Switch over so you can see me trying to get the microscope working. Well, that's a pretty good view there, actually. Okay, here's the microscope. There's our little connector. Yeah, it looks like we may be more or less on the right pins. So what do you guys think? Should I go ahead and plug it in and see if it works? Can't hurt. It's already pretty broken. I got my USB hub. Plug this in. It's not working for us yet. So I may have to spend some more time in there getting those wires, little tiny individual wires, pinned down. There's a first partial fix, the MDLX. I'll get that going later and put up a short at least of it working so you guys know it's going to get there. Next up, this guy's a lot easier. This is a desk lamp from a Yamaha mixing console, and the connector got ripped out of it. So this one is just an easy 2 wires, black and red for power. Get hooked up. They run off 12 volt. So we can hook that up, see that it works, and that'll be real easy. Probably should have started with the easy one first. So we're going to get this around here. Zoom just a little bit. We'll keep this camera over, or the microscope over, for some light. A lot easier with a little extra light. Okay. We'll go to our dual view. See the dystopianelectronicsworkshop.com there. Now, this here is our connector. And you can see there's only 2 pins that have solder in them. Fortunately, this pin on the left, if you look carefully, you can see there's a little bit of red plastic in there. So that's going to be our red wire. The one right next to it is going to be a black wire. I think this is probably a serial number on it. I don't think we need that anymore. Peel that off and throw it away. First thing we're going to do is tin up these 2 connectors. I don't have my pop-ups on this video, so I'll just say my pop-ups. Tinning is called tinning because solder is made with lead and tin. So you're putting a little bit of tin on your wires. Now, this black wire I'm going to have to trim back some. When you're on the road, you don't always have all of your different tools. But what I do have is my nice little pocket knife. I'm just going to take that, twist the wire on it, and pull. Being very careful because this is a very sharp pocket knife. There you go. And go back to our close-up shot. We'll be able to see that is just perfectly stripped, so we can throw some solder on it. It's important to put solder on the wires and on the connector because that way you don't have to heat it up quite as much when you're putting it back together. While we're doing this, I'll jump over here. All right. Appreciate the support, guys. Oop. And I will make sure to get that fixed and shown to you. All right, moving our light. And black is going to go first. That's this bottom. I'm going to heat this up. Put that wire in the pocket. Then you got to hold it. The way you can tell it's done is when the solder goes from shiny to dull in appearance. And we'll go to number 2. Do our positive connection. And that is working well. So that's it. This type of connector has a little bump on the side. You can see this little bump right here. It makes it so it only fits in one way. So I'm going to turn off the soldering iron, just unplug the power from it, set that aside. This slides back in, and there's a little set screw. Let's see if you can see it right here on the side. You tighten that. This connector is put back together. So it is missing the set screw. Yes, good eyes there, Scott. But I have quite a few set screws. In fact, I think I might have a set screw right here. Let's see. Nah, that's not going to be the right kind. I got a bunch of cables down in the ballroom. I'll find another cable and steal a set screw from that. Okay, so I'll get this out of the way. Well, I got a couple viewers on here. Did want to give a little call out to one of our viewers. My buddy Scott picked up this Dystopian Electronics Workshop t-shirt for me off of our website, dystopianelectronicsworkshop.com. And there's a store there. You can pick up Dystopian Electronics Workshop merchandise. And for my birthday, he picked me up a t-shirt. So thank you, Scott. And also, after one of our previous videos, a mystery donor went ahead and shipped me a couple of spudgers because I said I didn't have any spudgers. So you'll see these featured in several upcoming videos. And if you're interested in doing a little something for us, you're always welcome to go look at our reviews and click through to Amazon from our reviews. And anything you buy after you click those, you'll help support Dystopian Electronics Workshop. And I think with that, we're just about done. I'll look over one more time. And no more comments. So I'll say thank you for joining us. Have a great day. Now you get out there and do something.